Okay everyone, I want you to listen to me very carefully because I have decoded the woman, the dragon and the beast prophecy of Revelation. I was going through my communism notes in the second edition of Jericho and everything I wrote on Hollywoodism, the new worldwide religion, and how mankind would be duped into worshipping and magnifying the Antichrist. The beast, as we know from Daniel chapter 7, is actually a kingdom. This kingdom is the new Babylonian nation, the United States of America, and the final New World Order empire. An RFID microchip implant system has already been implemented in the States, so people are already receiving the mark of the beast, America. There is a red dragon in Revelation also, the red dragon being China. And then we hear about a bear, the bear being Russia. And we will be fighting against them both in the end times as mankind struggles for survival. There are many prophecies about a great monarch who will help Europeans defeat the Muslim extremists. However, once the great monarch dies, the Antichrist takes over. So I considered how this would most likely transpire. China are going for Hollywood. They even have an enormous studio built by the richest man in China, Wang Jianlin, known as Eastern Cinema, with a huge sign up like the one in Los Angeles. The Chinese conglomerate, Dalian Wonder Group, own the most amount of theatres in the world, including AMC. So they are planning to take over the movie industry and dominate the media, just as McCarthy warned us about during the second Red Scare. Television, the new worldwide religion. There is a TV in every home and people are already worshipping this image of the beast. Well, I'm not, because I smashed mine up into pieces, as you can see in the other videos. But most people are. The reason the world will be deceived into worshipping an image of the beast and the Antichrist is because we would have already seen him on the TV prior to him taking over in the Middle East and the death of a great monarch. I just wanted to add something here about the big red dragon of China. This is what we're talking about in Revelation. The red dragon persecutes the woman with child, the woman with child being a reference to the Virgin Mary and Christ Jesus, and the Christians. Christian persecution. Guess where they do it the most? Most Christian persecution is not in the Middle East, it's in China. Revelation 12, where the red dragon persecutes the woman with child and the woman's seed, a reference to Christians, Christian persecution, and a red dragon. This is absolutely what we're talking about here. There are many other verses that I'll put up on the screen for you where I initially suspected we were talking about China here. As soon as I saw a red dragon in Revelation, that's immediately what I thought. We're talking about communism throughout Revelation, and it keeps coming back. It keeps resurfacing. Okay, we fight it off, but it's never eliminated completely, unfortunately, despite Reagan's valiant efforts. And he almost single-handedly eliminated it when he brought down that wall. But it's going to come back with a vengeance. And it's going to keep coming back, because we will let it. I just wanted to go over this quickly because it's very important. It's about the red dragon and the woman. If we read the Greek translation of Revelation chapter 12, verse 1, we have, "And a great symbol appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars." Notice it says symbol here. Yeah? And the crown of 12 stars being the EU flag. There's 12 stars. There's a crown of 12 stars on the EU flag, okay? And we're talking about nations fighting each other in Revelation. So we know it's talking about the EU here. But look, I've been over this in another video. Look at this. "And there appeared another symbol in heaven, and behold, a great fiery dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his head 7 diadems." The fiery dragon isn't a man here, it's the symbol. Yeah? And what is this symbol? Yeah? The great Chinese dragon. Look at this. This is really good. "The great fiery dragon has 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his head 7 diadems." Not 10. Not 10. Only 7. Why? Because 3 regions of the world will not yet be taken over by China, the red dragon. Okay? But he will be fighting against Europeans, the Christians, the woman with child, reference to Christians, for world domination, and to gain these 3 regions. And look what happens in Revelation 13 and in book of Daniel. The Antichrist overcomes 3 of the kings, 3, yeah, making a total of 10. Revelation 13, "And I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast come up out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads, and upon his horns 10 diadems." The red dragon, after fighting with the woman and failing several times, will eventually gain world domination. Yeah, those 3 extra regions that it needed, completing the 10 diadems on the 10 horns. Back here, he only has 7. Once the Antichrist arrives and takes over the world, he'll have all 10. Remember, the fiery dragon is a symbol. The woman with child, symbol. We're talking about nations. Crown of 12 stars, EU. Yeah? Fiery dragon, China. And the beast, I go over this, a kingdom. The beast is the New World Order, final empire. But I also believe it's a reference to the United States of America, the new Babylonian Empire of the US, and the headquarters of the United Nations is in New York, the New Babylon. So we have the dragon, China, the beast, America, and the woman, Europe. But sadly, the red dragon will eventually overcome the saints, as it says in Daniel, and gain world domination and control all 10 regions of the world. I'm going to go through this in Sun Tzu's Art of War. It's a quote from Chen Hao. "Create an invincible army and await the enemy's moment of vulnerability." This is exactly what we have in China now, an invincible army of 200 million. They have been planning this for a very long time. They are awaiting our moment of vulnerability, and that will be following our victory over the Muslim extremists. We would have been weakened by this point. And just like it says in 1 Thessalonians, we will gain a false sense of hope and peace and security, but this will be the time when they move in. Yeah, this is the time to act, to move. Yeah, to move in. This is our moment of vulnerability and the Chinese takeover. Now, when the great monarch dies, all the prophecies of a great monarch, the Antichrist will then immediately take his place. And if we are talking about China moving in here, and it makes absolute sense because the Antichrist places an abomination of desolation in the Temple of Jerusalem, and North Koreans already live like this, so it makes sense for an Oriental ruler to do something like this, make us worship an image of him. I mean, this image of the beast worship, okay, it's got communism written all over it. Yeah, this is communism 101. And if you look in my other videos, China, it is bizarre. They have deified Russian President Vladimir Putin, and they are singing the praises of Uncle Vladimir Putin and the Russian national anthem. It is so bizarre, okay? Praising and magnifying the beast, giving him his great power and authority. The red dragon does this in Revelation 13, okay? They've already done that with Putin. This is an example of what we're talking about in Revelation, okay? China already behave like this, and they will give power and authority over to a foreign ruler. As crazy as it sounds. And he will then place the abomination of desolation in the temple. Now I think we're talking about either the President of the United States, a Western ruler, because they all love their Western rulers over there. They idolize them more so than anywhere else. So I think China will take advantage of this and make us worship him. Or we could just be talking about Vladimir Putin once again, because they've already done it. So there we go. That's what we're talking about. Our moment of vulnerability will be following the victory over the Muslim extremists. China will step in, appoint a foreign ruler, Antichrist figure, and we will all be made to worship his image. And this is totally Chinese communism, okay, worshipping an image of the beast. This is absolutely the hand of God. America had her chance at democracy, she blew it with idolatry, so now God is going to enslave us with idolatry by handing world power over to the communists of the East. This will all happen following the super eruption of Yellowstone volcano, which will decimate the entire Western Hemisphere.